In our world today, it feels like we're constantly caught between two massive forces, this incredible pressure to always speak our minds and the ancient wisdom of just holding our tongue. So let's dive in and see if we can find the balance.
I mean, think about it. From the moment you wake up, the world is just yelling at you. Your phone is buzzing with notifications, headlines are screaming for attention, opinions are flying everywhere. There's this constant, overwhelming pressure to have a take, to join in, to speak. So you're scrolling, and someone says something you totally disagree with, or a comment pops up on your post. Maybe a family member says something that's just not fair. And that urge is instant, isn't it? It's almost primal. You have to respond.
And so we do. We get swept up in it. Our fingers fly across the keyboard. We craft that perfect, witty comeback, and we hit send. We add our voice to the endless noise because that pressure to reply just feels like something we can't ignore.
But what if the most powerful move you could make in that moment was to do nothing at all? What if real strength isn't found in the words we fire back, but in the ones we consciously decide to keep to ourselves?
Okay, let's just be real here. We live in a world that is incredibly loud. It feels like every single person has an opinion, a platform to shout from, and this burning need to share it, whether that's in a comment section, a group chat, or even right at the family dinner table. And this creates a constant battle inside us. And look, this isn't some abstract philosophical problem. This is our everyday life. A classmate says something that's just plain wrong or offensive. A relative is completely unfair to you. Some stranger online decides to attack you out of nowhere. Sometimes we just react, we lash out, and we feel that sting of regret almost immediately. And then other times we stay quiet and regret that too, endlessly replaying what we wish we had said. So this brings us right to the heart of the matter. This is the big question, isn't it? How do we navigate all this? When is choosing silence a genuine sign of strength? And when is choosing to speak an act of true courage? To figure this out, we really need a guiding principle, kind of like a North Star for our words. And thankfully, the Islamic tradition offers one that is both beautifully simple and incredibly profound. Let's just pause and really absorb that for a second. Whoever believes in Allah and the last day should speak good or remain silent. This isn't just a casual piece of advice. It's framed as a fundamental part of a person's faith. What's so powerful about this is its clarity. It presents us with two safe harbors, two good options. Notice it doesn't say always speak up in every single situation, and it doesn't say always be quiet either. It says you have two safe paths, either speak what is good or stay silent. That's it. These warnings about the dangers of the tongue, they're ancient, but they have never been more relevant than they are today. The sins haven't changed. Gossip, backbiting, mockery, only our tools have. Our keyboard has become our new tongue. That thoughtless comment, that reactive tweet, that shared screenshot. It's all the same old problem, just in a new digital form. All right, but hold on. This is only half the equation, because being virtuous doesn't always mean being silent. There are absolutely critical moments when speaking up becomes a moral duty. Right here, the Quran gives us this really powerful exception. While generally publicizing evil isn't liked, there is a clear, established right for someone who has been wronged to speak out. This is divine permission to break the silence when you're facing injustice. It's a right given specifically to the oppressed. And it goes even further than that. The tradition defines the best jihad, the greatest, most noble struggle, as speaking a word of truth before a tyrant ruler. In this case, the struggle isn't with a sword. It's with your words. It's a moral struggle. In these moments, silence isn't wisdom. It's complicity. Speech becomes the highest form of courage. Okay, so we have these two powerful directives, speak good or be silent, but also speak truth to power. So how in the world do we know which one to follow in any given moment? Well, the answer isn't found by looking at the situation outside. It's found by looking inside and checking our own inner compass, our intention. So you have to ask yourself this and be really honest. When you decide to stay quiet in a tough situation, is it coming from a place of wisdom? Have you really weighed the options and decided silence is the best path? Or is it just fear? Are you afraid of the conflict, afraid of how you'll be perceived, afraid of what people might think? And on the other side of that coin, when you do choose to speak up, where is that coming from?
Are you speaking because you genuinely want to defend the truth, or help someone, or share something beneficial? Or is it because your ego got a little bruised and you have this burning need to win the argument and prove you're right?
You see, there's a clear principle at play here. When our speech is driven by our ego, it almost always leads to regret. But when our silence is guided by wisdom, it brings a sense of peace. Speaking for the sake of truth is an act that's rewarded, and choosing silence out of a consciousness of God, well, that becomes a shield of protection for you.
Okay, so this all sounds great in theory, right? But how do we actually use this in the heat of the moment when our emotions are running high? Let's break it down into a simple, practical framework. Here it is, just 3 steps. First, run your words through the benefit test. Before you say anything, ask yourself 3 quick questions. Is it true? Is it necessary? And is it actually beneficial? If the answer to any of those is no, silence is probably your best bet. Second, just pause when you're emotional. Anger is a terrible advisor. It makes us think in the short term. But remember, the anger might only last a few minutes, but the regret from your words can last a lifetime. And third, speak when your intention is purely for the sake of Allah, to defend someone who's oppressed, to give sincere advice to a friend, or to teach something good.
As we start to wrap this up, let's just reflect for a second on what's really at stake. Just think about it in your own life. How many friendships have been fractured? How many family ties have been strained? All because of one single careless sentence. The damage our words can cause is so real and so lasting. And this is the sobering, kind of scary reality of it all. You cannot unsay something. There's no delete button for spoken words. Once they're out there, they take on a life of their own, and you lose all control over their impact. And that leaves us with this final, really powerful idea to hold on to. If you stay silent when maybe you should have spoken, you can almost always go back and fix it. You can apologize, you can speak up later. But if you speak when you should have stayed silent, that damage is often permanent. Mastering our words is one of the most important skills we can ever learn, and so often, the wisest word is no word at all.